Hello students, welcome back. This is your teacher Meenal Pereira, and in today's module we are going to study about energy from different food components. Before that, I hope you all are taking proper care of your health by following a proper diet and having an active lifestyle, and of course by staying at home. So let's begin the today's module or today's session. Let's study which are the food constituents that we have already studied. So we have studied about carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals and water. And now we will study how we get energy from each of this. Now first we will study energy from carbohydrates. As we all know that carbohydrates are the main component of our food, and we get maximum amount of carbohydrate from the food that we eat, and we get maximum amount of energy from the carbohydrate. Excess of carbohydrate are stored in liver and muscle in the form of glycogen. Moving further to proteins. Let's study how we get energy from proteins. So these are the different food components that gives us protein. Now proteins are the macromolecules formed by bonding together many amino acids. Macromolecules means bigger in size. Proteins of animal origin are called as first class proteins. We get 4 kilocalorie of energy per gram of protein. Now let's see in this diagram. What you can see is protein molecule after digestion is converted into amino acid. And then again this amino acid that are obtained after digestion of proteins are absorbed in the body and are transported up to each organ and cell via blood. And from these amino acids, organs and cell produce various proteins necessary for themselves and for the whole body. So as you can see in the diagram, proteins are first converted into amino acids by the process of digestion. Then these amino acids are converted into peptides, which is again a simpler form, and that is carried by blood to various organs, and again it forms a protein in the body as per the requirement. Moving further, now let's see how proteins and different amino acids are obtained in the body and what are the uses of that. Now first and the most important organ is skin. Now in skin, the protein is in the form of melanin, which gives basically color to our skin, or it is a dark brown pigment that gives color, and keratin, which is present in hair, skin and nails. Then we have proteins that are in bones, which are called as osin. Now as you can see from the diagram, it helps in the growth of the bones, and in the absence of that, a person suffers from bone disease. Then proteins in the blood are in the form of hemoglobin. Now you know hemoglobin very well. Okay, it is basically the oxygen carrier in our blood and also to produce antibodies. Then coming to cells, various proteins of cell membrane form various enzymes. So this is the cell membrane, and you all know that this is the cell membrane, and proteins are required to synthesize various enzymes that brings or that fasten up the body process. Then coming to pancreas, it is producing a protein called insulin and trypsin. Again, we all know what is the use of insulin. It is basically for the digestion of glucose, and in the absence of protein insulin, a person suffer from a disease that is called as diabetes. Okay, so this is basically a diagram that shows how pancreas, the beta carotene or the beta cells of pancreas releases insulin, and then how it is used further for various body process. Moving further to pituitary glands, which releases various hormones, and in 9th standard I hope you all have studied the protein, or basically the hormones charts or the hormones, how each hormone is important for the body, and these hormones are nothing but the proteins that are synthesized and are used in the body. Then in muscles, it is in the form of actin and myosin flexible proteins. Now what are the function of each is actin filament, usually in association with myosin, are responsible for many types of cell movement. As you all know that we are using muscles basically for the movement of the cell. Now you can see this actin filament in the diagram and followed by the myosin filament. So both this together in combine are basically responsible for different types of cell movements. Then after the use of proteins, what happens to the excess of proteins, or what happens to the excess of amino acid in case of animals? Excess of amino acids obtained from proteins are not stored in the body. So like fats, they are not stored in the body, but they are broken down and the ammonia form is eliminated out of the body. If necessary, excess of proteins are converted into other useful substances like glucose through the process of gluconeogenesis. This is a metabolic process by which organism produces sugar. Okay, so as we have discussed that excess of proteins are discarded from the body. It is not stored in the body. But sometimes it so happens that the body requires energy, and that time maybe carbohydrate is not available. So then how the body will get energy? Whatever excess proteins are there by the process of gluconeogenesis. This is a process by which this protein can be converted into sugar or carbohydrates, and thus the body's energy requirements are satisfied. Now coming to plants, what happens in plants with the excess of protein? Plant produces the necessary amino acids from mineral de novo and thereby produce different proteins. An enzyme Rubisco present in the plant chloroplast is most abundant protein found in nature. So this is the structure of chloroplast, which again you have already studied in 9th standard. There is an enzyme called as Rubisco which produces different proteins, and then that is used for the growth of the plant. So I hope you all are clear about proteins. We move further to lipids or fats. Let's study how we get energy from lipids or fats. The substances formed by specific chemical bond between fatty acids and alcohols are called as lipids. Now what are lipids? Basically these are the substances that are formed with a special chemical bond between fatty acids, that is obtained from fats, and alcohols, and these are called as lipids. Lipids breaks down into fatty acid and glycerol. Fatty acids and glycerol are then absorbed into the bloodstream. So you can see here in the diagram the digestion of lipids. We don't have to study that in much details, but just showing you how the lipids are being broken down further into a simple ones. Bile assists in this process by physically breaking down fats into smaller droplets. Bile that is a juice which is synthesized by liver. Okay, it helps in physically breaking down the fats into smaller droplets. Then these fatty acids are absorbed and distributed everywhere within the body, and from the fatty acids different cells produce various substances necessary for themselves. So next to carbohydrate, as we all know that fats are the next source of energy. The molecules called as phospholipids, which are essential for producing plasma membrane, are formed from fatty acids. So apart from energy, the phospholipids which are required for plasma membrane. So this is the structure within the plasma membrane that is formed from fatty acids. Also, fatty acids are used for producing hormones like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, aldosterone, etc. and the covering around the axons in the nerve cell. So this is the diagram of the nerve cells and axon is there. So the covering around the axon of the nerve cell is made up by fatty acids. And again about these hormones we have already studied. We get 9 kilocalorie of energy per gram of lipids. Excess of lipids are stored in the adipose connective tissue in the body. Moving to vitamins, fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables. Vitamins are groups of heterogeneous compounds in which each essential or which are essential for proper operation or various processes in the body. There are main 6 types of vitamins, example A, B, C, D, E and K. Out of that, vitamin A, D, E and K are fat soluble, whereas B and C are water soluble. We have seen that FADH2 and NADH2 are produced in the process like glycolysis and Krebs cycle. Vitamins like riboflavin, that is vitamin B2, and nicotinamide, that is vitamin B5, are necessary for their production. So the two very important factors of the glycolysis process, that is FADH2 and NADH2, are basically for their synthesis, vitamin is absolutely required. Then our favorite water nowadays in summer season. There is about 65 to 70% water in our body. Each cell contains 70% water weight by weight. Blood plasma also contains 90% of water. Functioning of cell and thereby the whole body disturbs even if there is a little loss of water from the body, and hence water is an essential nutrient. We all know the uses of water very well. Without water is life, without which we cannot survive. And coming to the last one, that is fibers. Okay, now fibers that we obtain basically from fruits and mainly green leafy vegetables. I know you all are very bored to eat these green leafy vegetables, but see what is the importance of fiber. Along with all above mentioned nutrients, fibers are also essential. In fact, we cannot digest the fibers. So this is one thing you have to remember, children. We cannot digest fiber. And the reason is that to digest fiber, we need cellulose, which is not produced in our body. However, it helps in the digestion of other substance and ingestion of undigested substance. We obtain fibers from leafy vegetables, fruits and cereals. Now you all know how much feces removal is important from the body, and that is facilitated with this fiber. So taking of the fiber is very important. Okay, so I hope you all understood what is the use of each of these food components for the body. So therefore, you need to take a proper diet and you have to see that you are taking the food in proper amount so that your body gets proper energy. Thank you very much. Please take care. Stay home. Stay safe.